Howdy everybody, and welcome back to Nelson Creek Farm. I'm Farmer Dave, wishing you a wonderful day and hope you enjoy part 3 of our video that we're doing today of the reconstruction of the old farmhouse front porch. It's a beautiful Sunday, the 2nd of October, so stay tuned. Got some more coming up with it. Scientists have discovered that the human body is 80% water. My excuse is, I'm just flooded. This is where we're at with the construction of the front porch. We've got one more board to add across here. We've got some of the concrete pillar blocks, or whatever you call them cement blocks right there. We're going to put in there with some 4x4 uprights, and then a stringer from here to the back to help hold it up, keep it from bouncing around, and started applying some wood primer and sealer to all of the bare wood. And we're going to try to get the railing in here and along the side there and here and there today. Because of other projects coming up, that's probably as far as we are going to actually get with the construction of the deck, is finishing up the floor and doing that railing. The actual floor boards themselves, we're going to have to wait and see what we end up doing on those, because we're looking at pricing right now. That composite decking material is just about the same price as laying down some plywood, and it would sure look a lot heck of a better. Yeah, a lot heck of a better? Yeah, you know what I meant. Some of you had asked about bracing in the center of the floor. We do have the concrete pilings in place with some 4x4s anchored to several of the 2x6 cross beams, and then there's a 2x6 running anchored to the 4x4s that are standing up in the blocks. Let me get down here and we'll get a little closer shot of what we're doing. You can see that runs across over to that one back there. That'll be more than sufficient to hold up the porch floor out here, especially since it's going to be such a limited use doorway anyway. It's not like it's the main door to the house. In fact, I'm not even entirely sure why it's out here. There's nothing out here on this end of the house except a lawn. Yeah, so who knows, maybe someday we'll put in a driveway out here. I don't usually roll a joint, but when I do, it's always one of my ankles. Yeah. What we have going on here is Skyler has an ingenious idea of making some boxes to anchor that front pillar to the wall back here, and that'll help keep the 4x4s holding up the front porch roof square so that nothing will move around. Now this is the construction detail of these boxes that he's making. They're all 2x4 construction, all screwed together. And these are going to stay square when we get the beams or the panels in the middle of it. And of course we've got 2x6s here filling in some of the hole here where the porch railing was to begin with. Now there is a shorter gap distance between here and the floor on that end than there is here, and will be over here on this end. It'll be taller. The reason for that is the downward slope going that way on the deck, so that water and snow and everything, when it melts, will run off the front edge of the porch and not towards the house. There are both boxed end deals on the north side of the deck here for the front porch. We will be capping it off with a 2x6 from the post here all the way back to that piece back there, and that'll give us a nice wide area to plop our bums on to sit on in the future. Yeah. What I'm going to start doing now is building the slats that goes in the boxes. We're looking at some 1x4s. We're going to do 3 on the sides and 2 on the front, and that'll just be a little decorative touch. Did you know that raisins in real life are nothing more than... No, yeah. You got to remember the joke. Say, Did you know that raisins are nothing more than grape jerky? Yeah. While Skyler's putting together the boxes for the front of the porch here, I decided I'm going to apply some of the primer to help seal the wood before we get it painted. Now, whether or not I get the time to get it painted before snow flies this year, that's yet to be seen. But at least it'll have a coat of primer on it. Right? Yep. And what we're using for the primer on all this bare wood is just some plain old Kills and a throwaway chip brush. Nothing more fancy than that. I had said earlier that this was probably about as far as we were going to get on working on this deck before snow flies. My son tonight indicated that they expect to have it painted and a deck put on before snow flies this year. So we'll see. But yeah, that's down the line and whatnot. But yeah, it'll at least be in a primer and maybe some paint. But I got to hurry up and get it done because we're starting to look at below 50-degree overnight temperatures this weekend coming up. So yeah, I need to get any paint and primer on here before it starts getting too cold for it to cure. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get up in the morning, put it on in the morning, and then let it cure all day, but I can't go to work that day. So yeah, I'll have to work around that somehow or another, but at least the main part of the construction is done, and the roof is going to stay on the old farmhouse. Now this box frame construction is my son's idea. It consists of 2 vertical pieces, a piece up here of a 2x4, one down here, and a 2x4 back here and here. And when that's all screwed together, it makes a very rigid piece of material, and that will hold the porch roof. What I mean by it holding it is that all those boxes there, and down both sides will keep this from going this way on the front, and these on the side will keep it from doing this in or out and away from the house. Now if that top rail looks pretty heavy right there, it really actually is. It's probably over-engineered. That could have been done with probably one 2x4 or 2x6 across there instead of a 2x4 and a 2x6, but that extra beef right there helps support people's backsides if you want to come out and sit up there on that top railing. I'm going to get back to putting on the primer. I won't bore you with that. That's watching paint dry. So yeah, we'll get on with another project later on. Well, that's going to wrap up today's little episode of rebuilding the front porch. We've got it all done except for the floor, and that'll probably be as far as we get with it this year. We got a lot of other little projects coming up that we need to take care of, like getting pallets of pellets for the pellet stove to keep the house warm during the winter. We got a couple of tractors to get lined up so we can sell them, and a few other little projects. So anyway, I'd like to thank my son Skyler again for coming over and helping with this project, and thank you for watching and subscribing to the channel, and a huge shout out to a couple of new subscribers that we've had in the last week since this project's begun. So anyway, thank you to all of you, and as always, right down there, if you don't forget, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, thumbs down, let me know what you think of the episode and the channel there in the chatter. Anyway, catch up with you later. Bye-bye now.